Mabuhay! My name is Isabel, and I'm from the archipelago of 7,107 islands. High tide, the Philippines! I'm 31. Ay, I'm just kidding. I'm 41. I just wanted to see if you believe me. Because, my friends, they asked me, Isabel, what's your secret for looking so young? And I tell them, ay naku Inday, it's all about moisturizing. That's why I use Dove. Because you're more beautiful than you think. So I've been living here in Vancouver for 8 years now. First 2 years as live-in caregiver for the Choi family. After staying with the Choi, I got an open work permit, so I opened the door of my life. After another 2 years, I got my permanent residence, and of course, I tried to get my family here right away. But that took another 2 years. So much paperwork, and plane tickets aren't cheap. Anyway, last year, my son Miguel moved here to be with me. He's 15 now. He was barely 7 when I left Manila, but now he's here. My son is here. And after all these years of waiting, this is all that matters.
Hey, sup, Miguel here. Been in Vancouver for a year. What's that? Oh yeah, Vancouver is a good place, I guess. Pretty different. Well, very different. We stay in the basement, shooting on 43rd and Fresh Cell. Actually, I don't know why they call me Shooty when there was nothing sweet about it. Nothing like place we had in Manila, where we had real windows that overlook the street. Now the street overlook us. Basta next year, I'm turning 16, and I can wait to take a job, and I'm gonna get one at Timmy's, earn and sit load of money, and get out of this dump. Yeah, that's all that matter.
I'm Roberto, the husband of my dear Isabel and my teenager son Miguel, and my family as separated double of at a title misunderstanding basta.
Yes, I'm Miguel's grandmother, who has take care of him since his mother went abroad. It's no wonder Miguel look like me, hahaha, biro lang.
I have to get ready for work, so I make breakfast for Miguel and me. Spam, fried eggs, garlic rice, and lots of banana ketchup. In Manila, spam is not cheap. We only eat it on Sunday before going to church. Now, I tell my friends back home, you know what, Inday? In Canada, we eat spam every day. After cooking, I showered quickly. And by 6, I'm out of the house to get to work. Miguel doesn't wake up till 8. Ay naku. Actually, I don't know what time that boy goes to bed. I have a second job at the grocery on Broadway. And I'm there till 8 p.m. By the time I get home, Miguel's in his bedroom with his earphone on. He always says he's doing his homework, but I think he's watching videos. Sometimes I want to go into his room and just ask him, how's your day, anak? How's school? After a whole day of speaking in English, how would you like your coffee? 2 creams and a sugar, eh? Would you like a plastic bag? After a whole day of all that nonsense, I'd like to come home and hear his voice, to speak to me in Tagalog, so that I could be home again.
I got home after school yesterday, and I was starving. Opened the fridge, bagels and tuna salad, and leftover spam. I hate tuna salad. I'm sick of bagels. I want rice, and sinigang or adobo or caldereta. But Inay can only cook these dishes on Sunday. Her day off, she make a whole pot, and we eat in the whole week. But today is Thursday, and there's none left. That's what the tuna salad is for. Back in Manila, when I lived at my lola, my grandmother every night, we would have at least 3 dishes. My lola loved to cook. My cousin Julia and Susan and Uncle Alex lived there too. Julia is a year older than me. And Susan, I think, 8. Anyway, Uncle Alex worked at a call center. Graveyard shift. He's a customer service representative for Telos. You know when you call to complain about your cell phone bill and you call Telos, and you think you're calling someone who in survey or New West, but the truth is you're talking to my Uncle Alex in Manila.
Yesterday, I had a really bad episode at work. I had very little sleep at night before because I did laundry and there was so much to wash. Anyways, there was this woman who ordered a dozen donuts and I mixed up her order and gave her scones instead. If you ask me, I was doing her a favor by not giving her those donuts. Really. Anyway, she had to walk back several blocks with her little daughter to tell me I made mistake. Of course, I keep on saying sorry, sorry, sorry. She wasn't rude or anything. In fact, when I handed her the donuts, she smiled and apologized again. But then when started to head out, she turned to her daughter and said, "This is why you have to study hard, my love. Because otherwise, you'll end up just like her." I froze, just like her. The words echo in my head the whole day as I served these sausage, biscuits, and maple donuts, and swiped cans of beans and corn, and handed out plastic bags, just like her. What does it mean to be just like me? When I got home, all I wanted to see Miguel, to hear his voice. I wanted to find in his face some sign that I've made the right choices. You know, that I've been a good mother. That I wasn't just like her. I knocked on his door. "Miguel, anak?" But he was asleep.
Could sleep last night. It's exactly a year today since I saw Itay, my father. I wonder how he is. If you think of me sometime. When I was living with my lola, and Inay was here in Canada, my father worked in Cavite. 40 kilometers away from Lola's place, he had the sales job there. And because of traffic is really bad, he rented a room in Cavite and left me with my lola. He would go see me on Saturday and sometimes he'll stay till Sunday. I remember, he used to say, "Don't worry, anak, you'll see your Inay soon. Just wait and next thing you'll know, you'll be playing on the snow and eating spaghetti and meatball every day." Every night, I would wait for the phone to ring, for Inay to call and say, "Miguel, come home to the Canada tomorrow." But as year went by, and I waited for the particular phone call and began to see less and less for my father as well. At first, he'd say he had a work overtime, that they need him to work Saturday sometimes. I'll be because of traffic, but you know, even if he didn't come, I knew that just like me, he waited for Inay too.
10 years ago, when Miguel was 5, I was teaching English at a public high school, and Roberto was a med rep. You know, a salesperson for pharmaceuticals. He'd go to doctors to talk about this new wonder drug and how it will cure everything from migraines to acne. Anyway, we realized at one point that no matter how hard we work, what we were earning would never be enough to send Miguel to a good university or to buy a new house. Our neighbor Pasing had a cousin who went to Canada through the live-in caregiver program. And Pasing told us how their whole family got to go to Canada and find jobs, and that life was good. So I thought to myself, maybe I could do this. Yes, I love teaching, but I want to give my kid a good future. And in Manila, a teacher's salary will never be enough. At first, Roberto didn't like the idea. Nakakahiya, he would say, it's embarrassing. What would the neighbors say? A teacher going abroad to be a caregiver in someone's house? I told him, Roberto, there's no space for Hiya here. If we want to beat this family, we'll have to let go of shame. We just need to do what must be done.
I really like the idea you taught Isabel, but it should not be the woman who works for her family, kundi ang ilaw ng tahanan, di ba?
I know I really should do my homework, but who cares about that? Even if you don't get as you are still a winner in the Canada, diba? University is just on rich people anyway. The other day, Miss Nelson, that my science teacher, asked me some things about your immigration of Swallow, and I read about it and shit, but I couldn't speak up.
You know, in Shaughnessy, I was working for the Choice. I got paid $8 an hour. They took out $325 each month for room and board, and that left me with around $900. I would keep $150 to pay for my phone, my shampoo, and of course, my dub, and some money for going out on my day off. The rest, I would send home for Miguel's school and his living expenses. I was happy to earn more than twice I was earning in Manila. But of course, I was so homesick. I miss my family, gossiping with my friends. I miss being a teacher. At first, I would call Roberto every week. On Saturdays, when he and Miguel were together. But then sometimes, Roberto couldn't go to Manila. And to save money, I called every other week. Then it became once a month. Every night before I going to bed, I would look at our family picture from the last Christmas I spent in Manila and think about how happy we were. Ay, ano ka ba, Isabel? What a little homesickness. This is for your family. This is for Miguel.
When my mom finally got the family visa from us to come over, we have to wait another year to get the money ready for our tickets and stuff. Things were kinda okay first couple of months. We're here. Everything was so new and different. As the weather got colder and colder though, temperatures at home got hotter and hotter. Inay and Itay started fighting a lot. And it was always about money. I couldn't never hear everything start because they used to fight in their room. Then later they'd fight in their living room, and by then my headphones were already my best friend. One morning, I woke up to get some juice in the kitchen, and I saw things were missing. The TV, the microwave. I ran to my parents' room to tell them, Inay, Itay, we've been robbed. Call 911. But all I found, Inay sitting at the foot of the bed, crying. The closet was open and my father's clothes were gone. I haven't seen him since.
The moment I saw them at the airport, I ran and I hugged Miguel so tight, I think he couldn't breathe. I was afraid people would call 911 and report me for child abuse. I hugged Roberto, and then we headed for the SkyTrain with all the luggage and son in front, while he and Miguel were looking outside the window to see what Vancouver was like. I remember looking at my son, then him, this man, my husband, the mole on his right cheek, his mustache, his pointy ears. I recognized all of this, but then I realized that there was also a part of him I didn't recognize anymore. And although I couldn't put my fingers on him, I knew something has changed.
Things change so much here. The weather, the season. One day, you're at your Lola's where it's always sunny, and you have so much fun. Next thing you're in the ACD, trapped in the basement, and it just keep raining. Your voice change, your body change, and you feel just like a pancake at IHOP. Your whole world flip upside down.
So of course, I took them downtown, and I showed them Gastown, Yaletown, and my personal favorite, Metrotown. Everything was new and exciting at first, but then things changed when Roberto, no matter how hard he tried, couldn't find a job. He didn't want to do something like Tim Hortons. He thought it was beneath him. I'd tell him, but this is how it works here. You need Canadian experience. Nakakahiya, he'd say, and we'd always end up fighting. Because of my two jobs, I hardly got to see both of them. I'd be so exhausted when I get home. Many times, Roberta would go 5 blocks away from the house of Kiko, who's also from the same hometown. Kiko lived with his wife, 2 kids, his sister-in-law, and a cousin. And Roberto would go there practically every day so that they could talk about life in the Philippines. Anyway, one night, this was like a years ago, he came home drunk. As I led him to bed and drew closer to him, I smelled something on his neck, and it was not the smell of Dove. I know every fragrance of shampoo, lotion, and laundry soap in this house, and I knew this was not one of them. At that moment, I couldn't think straight. After all these years, working here in Canada, giving up my hiya to care for him, for our son, this is how he repays me. Lumayas ka dito! Leave us! Don't ever come back! He took his clothes, some of our stuff, and then he left.
It's our fault. Wait, I left. She always, Roberto, you have to do this. Roberto, why don't you do that? She always the same way with me, and she driving me nuts, Miguel. Study hard. To do the dishes, just eat your tuna salad and stop complaining. In Manila, I never had to do the dishes. Lola would always take me to school. Here, Inay keeps on saying, tandaan mo anak, school is important. But she never helps me with my homework. She doesn't find me time to attend parents-teachers meeting. And I feel that I'm the only kid whose parent never show up. When she gets home, she's so tired. How can I give up a whole shift just to able to attend a meeting for your school? It's always about making money, more money. It's for you, anak, for your future. But what's about me now? What about my life now? Basta next year, when I'm 16, I'm gonna find a job and make my own money so that I don't have to hear her say, money doesn't grow on trees, Miguel. And she's sacrificed her life for me, but living so far away from me, not able to see me from 7 years. Tell me, didn't she sacrifice me too?
Sacrificial, sacrifice. This is what it's all about, right? Blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's what Father de la Cruz used to keep on telling us at our parish in Malabon. When he was growing up, I had this image of heaven in my head. Everything was gold, the wall, the curtain, and there would be food everywhere, and snow. The angels would be flying around, and we'd all be dressed in white. The night before I left for Canada, when Miguel was about to go to bed, I held him in my arms. Anak, tomorrow, Inay is going somewhere, okay?
Where, Inay?
To this place called Canada. I'm going to find us a new house where everything is gold, with lots of food and where they have snow.
Wow, I want to go with you, Inay.
Not yet, anak. I have to go there first, and then you'll follow, okay? He nodded and then fell asleep. While he lay there, I looked at my son's face, his eyes, his cheeks. I knew that tomorrow, if he saw me crying when I left, he would cry too, and I wouldn't be able to leave. So the next day, before he woke up, I kissed him on the forehead, and then I took my bags. And left. I was crying all the way to the airport. I was crying on the plane. Sometimes I feel I haven't stopped crying since.
Sometimes I feel this when I started remembering things so clearly. That morning Inay left. I remember walking up with a white beam on the ceiling looking down on me. I remember my dreams I was in the beautiful place with the big golden houses and snow. That must be Canada. That where Inay said she was going. I was so excited. I ran in the kitchen to tell her. I saw it. Inay, I saw Canada. But she wasn't in the kitchen. And instead I found grandmother. Where is Inay, Lola? I want to go with her to Canada. Lola bent down and held my hand.
Miguel, your Inay has left.
Left where? Are we going with her?
No, Canada is very far away.
But when will I see her? I remember tears were already streaming down my cheek. I want to see my Inay.
Soon, anak, soon. I promise you, life will be better for you, for both of us, soon.
That time my mother left. When I was 7, soon became days, weeks, months. At 7, I realized a very painful truth. My mother abandoned me. As a year went by, and her image began to fade, I could no longer remember what it felt like. The way she touched my cheek, the feel of her hands. Sure, she sent home money, sent me toys and chocolates. Sure, there's were phone calls and pictures. But you can't hug a phone call, can you? And picture, art can tell you that everything will be alright.
Just wait, anak. Soon, everything will be alright.
Inay, all this year, I've been waiting. Tell me, please tell me, when does soon begin?